Thank you very much for all the questions, interventions, and also strong points which have been delivered in the first round. And when I was referring in my introductory remarks that now the healthy debate would start, so I think we're starting it. And I think that we will have many more discussion on this, and we are of course ready to go in every detail. I think to Madame Aubry, I promised in my hearing that I will come with my PowerPoint and calculators, and that we are ready to sit together. But today I was told that there are no PowerPoints and calculators needed for this, I would say, opening of the debate. But I'm sure that we will have more detailed discussions. And as I would tell to you, as a preliminary remark, I would also send this message to agriculture community across Europe, to all member states, that we are ready to engage with everyone who has concerns, doubt, question marks about this agreement, and to go into every detail so we can really reassure you that we've been thinking extremely carefully about every single element which is of your concern. And if this concern would persist, we would be also thinking with you, how can we address that? Because of course we really want to make sure that this, as I said, the biggest FTA which was ever concluded would enter into force and will be clearly to the benefit of everyone in Europe, to all sectors. And we know that especially the sensitive questions are linked with agriculture, and I'm coming to that in a second. Mr. Winkler was highlighting the strategic nature of this agreement, and I agree with you totally. I have to admit, when I was in the Montevideo, it was for the first time I visited this Latin American country, and I was really struck, first and foremost, how similar this country looks to the, let's say, Mediterranean countries in the EU, how proud all people I've met are of their European heritage, how culturally close they feel to us, and how disappointed they are that the EU is not any longer #1 trading partner. And every single one, including for President, been asking me, how is this possible? How could we lost that primary dominant position as a major trading partner with the countries which are so close to us, and they want to be even closer with us, especially in what's happening in geopolitics and geoeconomics of today. So I think that when we are in a situation where, again, in this rough world, the size matters, the number of friends, the solid partnerships are extremely scarce. I think that strategic importance of this agreement is absolutely crucial for us, not only from the, I would say, economic security point of view, and I will come to that in a second as well, but also from this strategic visibility that the European Union, in the time where there are question marks over free trade, there are question marks of the customs barriers, there are question marks about, if the trade partnerships are good for our economy, to send such a signal that the biggest trading bloc, the EU, with Mercosur, are able to find the good compromise, create new platform for the good cooperation. I think that's extremely important. And we will have another session in 2 weeks' time when I will give you, I would say, more oversight about how, I would say, this new set of circumstances, and also the fact that we managed to conclude this agreement, is increasing the interest in accelerating the negotiations with the EU on the free trade agreement, setting up the new partnership, and looking for the new way of cooperation with us. And you will be impressed what has happened over the last 2 months. Coming to very concrete elements, because I think I will try to answer, I would say, the agriculture questions in one go, because I think they've been present in all the interventions. So first, I would deal, I would say, with other issues. Mr. Francesco Assis was on top of the agriculture, highlighting very important element of public procurement and critical raw materials. If it comes to the public procurement, and I think this is really a major achievement, because I was talking that in Brazil only, the public procurement sector represents like 2 billion euros. Here we have a binding commitment from our Mercosur partners that there will be no discrimination against European companies. And, of course, if we will find out that something is not according to the agreement, according to the book, we can address this issue through the dispute settlement mechanism. So I think this is as strong as you can get in an international agreement. Very important element on critical raw materials. We've been discussing it, Mr. Chairman, at several occasions, how dependent we are mostly on China. How we need to diversify if we really want to have economy of the 21st century. How we need the access to lithium, to niobium, and to many other critical raw materials, which unfortunately we do not have in European soil. Here, what was absolutely crucial for us was to have very strong chapter on critical raw materials, and we achieved that. So we eliminated export licenses. We got rid of export duties, and we also tackled the issue of monopolies if it comes to the critical raw material supply to the European Union. With Brazil, which is a major supplier of the critical raw materials, we got a special deal on so-called export tariffs, where we are absolutely assured that these export tariffs would never be higher than 25%. But if it comes to any other deal they would have with any other country or any other sale of the critical raw materials, the export duties for Europeans would always have to be half of that. So let's say there is the export duty for some other country of 14%. For Europe, it could be maximum 7%. But if it would be 70% for somebody else, for EU, it could never be higher than 25%. So I think that the level of exclusivity in this particular case is exceptional, and I think we need it badly, because we know how much we are suffering with the lack of critical raw materials. And then I think if I would also look at the elements of the social chapter, trade sustainability chapter, all this I think we included in a very strong way in our agreement, and we have very clear mechanisms which we know been working in the previous occasions where we had to discuss several similar issues like that, for example with Korea or Colombia, if I'm not mistaken, and it works well. If you allow me now to deal with the questions of agriculture. First and foremost, with many of you, we've been attending together different dialogues with agriculture. As you know, for the last year of the previous Commission, I was responsible for the Green Deal, and of course, this was of a great interest and concern of our farmers community across the European Union. And I had many meetings with our farmers, with big farms, small farms, organic farms, family farms, and I feel for our partners, and I take their concerns extremely seriously. And I know that they had very tough years. And I know that also the level of reporting, level of administrative burden made it very difficult for them, that we imposed very, very high standards on our farmers. And I can also reassure you, and we'll be, I think, in 2 weeks' time together with the Commissioner responsible for agriculture, Christoph Hansen, again in front of you, this time I think in Agri Committee, where we will discuss this, and I think the date is already set for the 30th of January, and we can go through all the elements, what we as a Commission want to put in the strategic vision. We would like to inform you how we want to reduce administrative burden, and how we want to make sure that we, from one side, are pushing, of course, our partners to trade with us on higher and higher standards, but also to make sure that the burden for our farmers will go from that level to that comparable level, because I think that these two things have to go in parallel, and we'll be making very strong case for that. Elaborating on this deal and agriculture, as you know, and I'm coming to the comments of Mr. Mariani, we are agri-food export superpower. Nobody exports more agri-food products than the European Union, and we have every intention that this would remain like this. We are very proud of our farmers, and we are very proud that we have such a strong position if it comes to the agri-food products. If you look at the 2023, we've been exporting 228 billion of euros of agri-food products. We had record level in a trade surplus in agri-food products by 70 billion euros. And we want to keep it that way. We want to make sure that our farmers would be competitive. But what is the problem of our exports in the third countries? First and foremost, very often these are very high barriers, sometimes prohibitive, sometimes totally blocking the possibility for export. So just to give you the idea how is it in Mercosur, olive oil, 10%, malt, 14%, wine, 35%, beverages other than wine, 35%, chocolates, 20%. And we are going to get rid of that. So I believe that this is increasing the opportunities for our agri-food exports. And on top of it, we've been extremely consistent and very firm on making sure that our GIs will be protected. So there will be not the wines like a champagne or like a Conte cheese or imitation of something. No, this would be the finest European products, well protected, sold at upmarket, and there is a huge interest for these high quality products coming from Europe, and most of them from France and Italy, which are known for having the highest numbers of these finest products. So these are the opportunities. What of course are the concerns, and I'll be very honest on that as well, because we've been looking on what this effect might be on our agriculture, and I think that if when we've been preparing for these negotiations, we've been looking not only on what this agreement will bring to the position and situation of our farmers. We've been looking at all FTA agreements, because this is what you asked me also in the hearing. What is the cumulative effect of all of you FTAs? So we did our homework, and we'll be very happy to come with the PowerPoints and calculators to present it on the technical level, and to really tell you that according to the scientific-based assessment, the study which was concluded is telling us that cumulative impacts of market access granted to in all our FTAs for beefs will lead to decrease in price between 2 to 2.5%, and potential decrease between 0.5 and 1%. And we are talking about potential. So I'm not hiding that it might lead to decrease of 2 to 2.5% if it comes to price, or decrease in production between 0.5 and 1%. And at the same time, I have to say that we are not underestimated this at all, and we will act to find the ways how to provide the support to our producers if they are negatively affected. And we have several safeguards which we would have in place if the situation would become of that sort. But as I was telling you, we are pretty convinced this would not happen, that we are ready to put a warranty on this agreement. And if the warranty needs to be triggered, we would have at least 1 billion euros to address the unforeseen circumstances which we are just putting on the table as a warranty, as a contingency, just to reassure that we would be prepared for every eventuality. And now I see that Mr. Chairman is very nervously looking at me, and I haven't answered still quite big parts of the agriculture questions, but I'm sure that in the second round they will come back and I will have the opportunity. So thank you.
Perfect, Maros.